What's happening, YouTube? You're in the building with Lamont Tyson. We going live. And in a few minutes, the fellas are going to all jump in here and we're going to discuss the latest and greatest and what's been going on today. And let me give you guys a rundown of everything I got right here in my no Twinkie eating fingers because I'm done. I'm cutting now for the summer. And let's get on down with this show. A lot of things took place over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump created a hashtag he retweeted a hashtag that supported firing Dr. Fauci. You should know there's an uproar about that. The rapper OT Genasis has reignited his beef with Keyshia Cole, the singer, and I love Keyshia Cole. I think she's done a lot of work. She's from the Oakland area. Well, he done said that her vajayjay smell like fish, and we'll get into that. Diddy had what some people call a skirmish with Lizzo. They was having this live thing going on. He asked Lizzo to quit twerking, but he allowed Drea to keep twerking. We're going to get what he had to say about that. Joe Biden's got an accuser from 1993. They did a story about that last year, but it didn't get a lot of hype. Well, she has reappeared again to accuse the presidential nominee for the Democrats. And you guys know that when this happened, people come out the weeds like you don't know what because you're under a huge microscope. So we're going to discuss that. Last but not least, the new Batman movie that's coming out next year looks like it's going to also have a Robin. And it's going to be played by this young cat named Timothy. And I'll get to his last name in a minute. He might be playing Robin. These are the stories we're going to cover, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's jump right on into it. But before we start, we acknowledge everybody that's up here on the live stream, giving me some comments. Mike Willie so far is the only person in here saying, what's up? What's up, big brother Mike? We definitely going to have to get you up here on the live stream at some point in time. Let's go on ahead and jump into what OT Genasis, a rapper, had to say about Keyshia Cole. And if you all don't know the story, basically the story is a couple of years ago, this rapper was into some kind of a live battle with 21 Savage, and they was doing cover songs. He covered Keyshia Cole's song called Love, but instead of saying love, he said cuz. Keyshia Cole did some interviews where she said she wasn't all that thrilled about it. As an artist, you know, most artists are they like their stuff to be the way it is. You know, they don't like their tapestries to be messed with. She's a vocal artist. She don't want her songs to be rearranged. And, you know, he got a little upset about that. He didn't feel like she should have made that such a big deal. He kind of got after her then. Well, he's back now. While one would think the joys and active schedule and welcoming a new child, or at least the devastation that has been the coronavirus pandemic, would keep people to do things differently, it hasn't swayed rapper OT Genasis. It seems he's picking up where he left off with his back and forth feud with Keyshia Cole. While on Instagram Live over the weekend, the rapper publicly disparaged the singer, making comments about her personal hygiene, and then he went on to laugh about it. She ain't shit, he said. Keyshia Cole ain't shit, he said. I am the shit. Keyshia Cole ain't shit. Coochie smell like fish sticks. That's what's going on. Coochie smelling like fish sticks. Keyshia Cole pussy smell like fish sticks laughing. Nah, I'm not going to talk back to her. Well. I be damned. We got some more people in here. My man 351 Cleveland, William Richardson, Adrian Bascom, Terrence Walton, Madrew Swatson, what's good? What do you guys think about rapper OT Genasis going after Keyshia Cole that hard? Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been with the woman, how the hell you know what she smelled like down there? I don't know if degrading a woman's vagina is the same as when a woman degrades a man's penis, but dude looked like he lift, almost borderline like he's using drugs. How would he feel if Keyshia Cole came out and said his penis was as long as my pinky finger? He probably wouldn't like that. He probably want to go make a whole diss track about Keyshia Cole, when, mind you, he borrowed her song, flipped the words on her song. She was upset that he tried to cover her song and change up the words. I think anyone, hold on, we got somebody jumping in.
What's up, everyone?
Larry, what's good, brother?
What is going on, man? Sorry I'm a little late, but I had to jump in with you.
You good. So we covering the first issue this weekend. Some new school rapper, OT Genasis, came out and said Keyshia Cole poo-poo smell like fish. And this stems back to him covering her song a couple of years ago, and he's continuing the beef now. Larry, what do you think about some rapper using Keyshia Cole's song a couple of years ago? She didn't like it. She clapped back at him. And now he's clapping back at her over the weekend, saying that her stuff smelled like fish. He don't give a S about her because he's the SHIT. Give the people what they want to hear, Larry.
Man, it sounds like some planted fake beef trying to get each other shine on because Keyshia Cole's not popping like she used to. You know, these new cats always trying to swagger jack with somebody who's been out for a minute. And depending on that other person, if they're not really popping at the moment, they might go ahead and jump in on the beef just to help them out a little bit. I can't be mad at them. It's entertainment. That's what they do. They create fake beefs and then they exchange words in the blogs and yada yada. As long as it doesn't ever get real, you know, just it is what it is. I mean, does her stuff smell like whatever? I don't know. I've never smelt it, so
hold on.
Never have.
We got my man T Strings and looking like
looking like a rock star.
He done put on the glasses. I just want to try to freestyle. Money ain't a thing. That's what he looking like.
I got my +7s on.
Yeah, he did. +7 glasses. I used to throw him in the video. What the heck?
Man.
Oh man.
Good, T Strings.
Oh man, nothing but a whole bunch of wind and down power lines. I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it for a second. There's a lot of power out down here.
Okay.
Yeah,
we wishing you well, man. We had them bad storms in North Carolina yesterday too, but you know, we survived. I'm glad you survived.
Yeah.
And we know Larry is a survivor.
Y'all didn't have no tornadoes, did you?
We had some pretty hard rain and stuff and wind that came through, but we didn't really get it like you guys did. We always seem to manage to stay out of the thick of it for the most part.
Yeah. Right.
So
we'll bring you in after Larry finish his soliloquy on why rapper OT Genasis came out this weekend and said Keyshia Cole's stuff smell like fish and he don't date her, he don't really know her like that.
No.
Man, well, let me also say,
I mean, look,
and I don't want to use too much salty language on your channel, but that's some bitch ass shit. Man, don't get into a beef with a woman. I mean, for real, just leave that be. I mean, let the women do their housewife thing. Let them do their love and hip hop thing, man. If you have beef, go beef with a dude. Don't go beef with some woman and then talk about how her coochie smells. I mean, let's be real. You're stupid and you're going to stay stupid. She can wash her crotch, you know? I mean, so hers is a quick fix. His is just straight up stupid. Don't beef with a woman. Just leave it be.
Well, like I said, T-Stream, before Larry got here, if you don't know Keyshia Cole, you've never dated her, you haven't slept with her, you haven't been in her region, how do you know what it smelled like? Unless it's like overtly obvious. And if it's overtly obvious, I'm sure some people she's had beef with in the past would have highlighted that. They would have said something about it to try to hurt her feelings. I think it's elementary for him to go after her like this without having any basis other than he's upset that she didn't like him using her cover song Love and he turned it to Cuz. She really wasn't feeling that. But like I said, she's an artist And if I had a tapestry named Mona Lisa, I really wouldn't want no one messing that up either. T Strings, drop something for us.
Man, I'm taking a look. I'm taking a look at it now. So I do remember not too long ago he did sample something from her and she didn't authorize it or something like that. And
Yep.
so this is what this stemmed from.
Yep.
No, man. Dude really just showed his true colors. That's really some Buster stuff right there, man.
Look, we have someone chiming in live. My big homie CB. I met Keyshia Cole when she came to DC. She didn't smell like no fish. At least she ain't smell like fish fried grease either. See, and I trust CB. I trust my man CB because he lived and he lived there. I trust him.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was really that you had it right, Larry, man. That was really some sucker move stuff right there. And he probably gonna get some backlash, especially if that's not, if they hadn't been in no type of situation where he could at least halfway validate what he's saying. If he just out there on the butt naked, then he out of there. I need to go back anyway. Ain't nobody just riding around bumping no OT Genesis.
Anyway. Bro, when I read the name, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with rappers nowadays? We naming us OT Genesis. What the heck? Overtime Genesis? What the
he had one or two, little summer bangers a while back. After that, you really ain't heard nothing from him.
Wow.
He ain't nobody.
Wow. Well, we're gonna move on with that one, folks. Life game from that. If you ain't never smelt the woman, figure out another way to clap at her. I mean, come on, man. You could have done better than that. Talk about the girl. I hope she come back and say someone's seen his penis and you got to pull out a microscope to see that bitch. Come on, bro. That would have really started something. Let's get on to the next one. Diddy got into a little bit of a backlash this week. Look, Larry already know what we're talking about. Diddy got into a little bit of a skirmish with people because he told Lizzo to quit twerking on this live thing he was doing for charity. Okay. Mm-hmm. The reason why Diddy got backlash for that was because it was unclear why he told Lizzo to stop twerking, but he told that, what's the best way to put it? The more aesthetically pleasing Drea, she was twerking. He didn't make her stop. So
why would he?
Larry, if you make the woman that's designated as a BBW stop twerking, why would you not make Drea stop twerking too?
Have you seen Drea?
Of course I've seen Drea.
So my question stands. Why would you ask her to stop?
Why would you ask Lizzo to stop?
Have you seen Lizzo?
I seen Lizzo yesterday.
I'm just saying. Yeah. If you see Lizzo and you see Drea, then you know why Diddy asked her to stop.
Look, man, I see where Larry trying to go with this. Bro, I'm not gonna let you out here like that. There's plenty of dudes that would love to smack them cheeks. Either one of them. So it turns out that Diddy said he asked Lizzo to quit twerking because the song that was being played when she was twerking had a whole lot of obscene lyrics in it. And he didn't want the children to hear that, versus the song that Drea was doing didn't have obscene lyrics, so he didn't stop her from twerking. Fellas, and I'll give it to Larry first. Does that not sound like a little fishy on Diddy's part?
I'll be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling like Diddy didn't need to make the excuse. He could have just been like, look, this is Drea. This is Lizzo. This is why I asked Lizzo to stop twerking. And he could have left it at that. He's Diddy. What are they going to do? Be mad at him? Do you know how many times people have been mad at Diddy over the years? Okay. Have you seen the women that he's been with? I mean, he's obviously not into BBWs. I'm just saying, it was his stream. He can ask who he wants to twerk. You know? I mean,
bruh, man.
Nobody wants to see Lizzo twerk, and they had to tell her to stop twerking at the NBA game. They had to tell her to stop twerking at this Diddy thing. She just needs to keep her oversized butt cheeks keep from flapping in the wind everywhere. Twerk at home in the mirror. Go find your man. Twerk on your own IG live or something. Nobody wants to see all that.
T-Stream. Larry gonna get me in trouble, man. So let me put on the +7.
Why? Your girl's not a BBW. Your girl's pregnant and she's still not a BBW.
Let me put on the +7 glasses of live stream with Larry sexy as hell, so that I don't get attacked on the street from anyone who loves their BBWs or any of the BBWs who was upset with Diddy. T-Streams, it is your turn. Drop some clarity on the situation.
You know what, man?
Come on, man. Keep it real. Don't make me talk about you when this goes off.
I'm not even this, I'm looking at a couple of articles here. I don't even want to see the video, but I don't he didn't really have to set no excuse like that. Everybody already know the deal, but once he did it, he had, that's him. He had to jump on damage control, or the movement was going to be on his neck. They on the neck now. And so, concerning it. Now, you got to boil it down. You got to boil it down. It is, some people do like it. All right. Some people do like it. But if it's on his function and whatever, I don't know what the platform was or what they was doing. If it was a matter of the record, just had a DJ spin the record and change it real quick. It ain't, you don't have to do a whole lot if somebody playing music. I think it was more so that, that oversized tail up there just sort of, getting this little workout on. And so he probably felt compelled to hurry up and cut that off. I don't know. It may be for some, but it is probably not. Is probably not for the masses, especially when it's PR related. I'm for sure. He had to shut that down.
I'm glad he told her to shut it down. I'll be honest with you. I'm tired of people out there trying to reinforce this idea with black women that it's okay to be a BBW, that it's sexy, that it's this, it's that. That shit is. Code my language. That is some BS. That is the type of stuff that is having black women out there dying when they're 45 from heart attacks and diabetes. And if they make it a little bit later in life, they're having their damn feet cut off and shit because they're having diabetes. No, you don't see. You have all these little white women in Hollywood and all over talking about, oh, we're body positive. You're sexy, girl. You don't have to do a damn thing. All the while, these chicks are up there eating tissue paper for dinner and weighing next to nothing, or they have their dietitians with their perfectly balanced diets and looking all fit and trim, telling black women to go out there and be obese and unhealthy. No, that shit is not cool. Stop trying. I'm not celebrating overweight people. No, I have some poundage I need to lose, but at least I keep on trying. I do my little workouts here and there. I'm not like morbidly obese. And the fact that people out there celebrating these big women, oh, she's thick. No, she's not thick. She's fat. That's what it is. Dre is thick. You're fat. And people need to knock that stuff off. I want to see black women out there dying.
Yeah, hey, T-Stream, we the only ones that's going to be saved on this thing. First of all, Drea is thick just simply because she is a product of the plastic surgeon on the corner of 49th and 16th in Rodeo Drive. If it wasn't, she wouldn't be thick. The other issue is there's got to be a better way to broach the subject of African American women that are heavy in a manner that you're encouraging them to be healthier, but have some kind of way to be have some confidence while you're trying to be healthy. I mean, I feel where you're going about we shouldn't be encouraging this lifestyle of people being obese. I feel you on that. I mean, I'm a trainer, for crying out loud. I've been severely obese. I know how hard it is to get your mind right and to lose weight. I've done it.
But Here's one thing though, uh, BBWs speaking, it's not all that, it's not all that bad, I don't, this is my opinion. I don't think that, some women are just not made to be ultra thin. They just not, I don't think every woman is made to be, 103 pounds and stuff like that. And then I guess it determines on what you would classify as BBW. Because see, right now, I mean, if you was, I'm about 200 pounds. If you was to look at me, I look a little slim because I'm 5'11". But you take that 200 pounds and you slap it on a woman that's my same size, that's my same height, and she a little bit, it looks a little bit different. So the question at hand, about Lizzo twerking, yeah, I probably would have stopped it too. But I wouldn't like say that being a BBW is bad. I'm probably from the school where girl, put some meat on your bones. Put some meat on your bones. I don't want to see you, walking around at 100 and just real skinny. It's just something about it. But then too, it's a matter of preference. But if it gets to the point where it's absolutely unhealthy,
that's where Larry coming from. It's
and that's where I'm coming at. I'll say it. I mean, I'll say it. Being a BBW is bad. It is bad. I don't care what anybody says out there. On to the contrary, you can sit up there and say that's wrong. Women should all beautiful, yada yada yada. It's bad. You will die early. You don't see how many. When you go to old folks' homes, how many 80 and 90-year-old obese people do you see? You don't see them. They're not there because they're dead. They died of heart disease. They died of diabetes. They died of something else. People walk around, oh, she's got the sugars. No, she has freaking diabetes. She is going to die. Oh, she's good. She's beautiful. Oh, she has a blockage in her arteries and she's going to die because she eats all this other crap. And you all over there who are healthy keep gassing her up, telling her she's beautiful. You're beautiful, girl. Just be you. Just be you until you go to her funeral when she's 45. I'm just saying. It's bad. Stop promoting that crap.
Here's the thing. I think where our society is getting this thing wrong. Just because you're big doesn't mean that you're ugly.
No, but it does not.
But at the same time, there's a fine line between what T said and what me and Larry are arguing in terms of carrying too much body weight is not good for anyone, man or woman. And like T-Stream said, a lot of people aren't built to be 110 pounds. That's true. But between 110 pounds up to 200, there's a lot of space in between there to be a fit human being. And in particular, since we're talking about a fit woman. So I think that what we should, and who was Jillian Michaels got in trouble for saying that she loves Lizzo's music, but she feels like Lizzo needs to lose weight for health reasons. I mean, what the hell do y'all expect her to say? Jillian Michaels is a trainer. She does the same thing. She does one of the things I do for a living.
Right. She has made her money and her fame off of training. And she's telling the truth. Lizzo probably needs to lose, no joke, probably 75 pounds. I don't know how much she weighs, but she probably needs to lose anywhere between 75 and 100 pounds.
And to the regard of what T Streams was saying, the way your weight is carried kind of augments and offsets what it looks like on the human being. So T was saying he weighs like 200 pounds right now. I don't know what Larry weighs. Larry weighs 212. I weigh like 220. And when I'm 220 pounds, my body fat is between 15 and 20%. When I get down to T Stream's weight at 5'7", my body fat is around 10%. So how it relates to your health depends on your level of fitness and where you're going, and nowhere, no how does it degrade your beauty. Take pride in your beauty, but also take pride in being healthy. And before Larry get us in any more trouble, T-Streams, we moving on. I got to take off these +7s again so people can see my eyeballs.
Let me say one last thing about this.
Go ahead.
Lizzo won't be able to twerk probably another 3-4 years or 5 years anyways, because her knees are going to be blown out from carrying all that weight. Just like when you see older people, when they get in their 40s and they're obese, they can't even bend down and pick up their keys that they dropped. They have to go ask their kids or somebody else to pick it up because they won't be able to get back up because their knees are shot because they wore out all the cartilage in there. They wore out all the cushion in between the bone. And that's why you see these people getting knee replacements and in wheelchairs because it hurts so much for them to walk. So don't worry. If you don't want to see Lizzo twerk, which I don't really want to see it, you're not going to have to worry about it in a few years because she won't be able to. Because you guys will keep on you encouraging women and whoever else out there will keep on encouraging her to go out and be fat and obese and unhealthy, and eventually it'll catch up with her.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to invite some women to come on this show, and we all have a round table about how women can portray confidence and beauty and also portray getting in shape as well. You know, how we can do all those things. It doesn't feel like we're demeaning women, because I understand women have felt like they've been demeaned so long, and people try to lump demeaning women into their weight. And no one on this panel is saying we want y'all to be rail thin, what Hollywood wants you to be. We're not saying that.
You don't have to be rail thin. Be right. Kelly Rowland.
We're saying we want you to be a healthy weight so that when you go to the doctor's office, the doctor's not telling you you need to lose weight for health reasons.
That's right. Be Halle Berry.
You ain't even got to be that small. You don't have to be
Beyonce.
You can be bigger than Beyonce, but as long as you add a weight where the doctor says you're fine, you don't have to worry about genetic issues and lifestyle issues. That's the bottom line here. Diddy did what he did because he wanted to cover his ass, simple and plain.
He didn't need to.
All right, fellas. Now we got to get on to politics. As people do tune in to hear what we got to say about politics, since we all business folks. Joe Biden, y'all's presidential nominee, is in some hot water. He was in hot water last year, but it died away because he wasn't doing too well in the elections. Well, now that he is the front and center for the Democrats, and Bernie endorsed him, by the way, this weekend.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He full-blown endorsed him. There's a lady that came out the woodworks. Her name is Mrs. Reed. Back in 1993, she filed a harassment suit, she claimed, against Joe Biden, saying that he harassed her, he physically assaulted her, he pushed her up against the wall, and penetrated her, get this, with his finger.
Digitally, huh?
Now, a lot of news organizations went digging around for all these suits, and they really couldn't find anything. And so it got pushed in the news last year that news organizations wasn't covering it because they wanted Joe Biden to be the nominee. Well, this resurfaced again this weekend because this Miss Reed is back out here on the attack. We knew it was going to come out. We've heard people claim that Biden can be creepy because he loves to hug. He's touchy. He's feely. We've heard this before. Fellas, is it over for Biden? T-Streams, I'll start with you.
Well, I tell you what, man, if there's any validation to it,
yep,
it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. You know, it's already going to be tough for him, you know, to beat Donald Trump. You know, some people don't think it, but I don't think that. I just don't think Biden can do it. That's going to solely depend on who his running mate is.
Me and you on the same track, brother. We said this last week.
But if there's some validation to those claims, and they get you know, the Republican agenda, you know, they got the hound dogs out there right now trying to search up on any and everything. What do you say, 93?
93.
Okay, so 25, 26 years. Okay, so it's not too long ago, but it's still close enough for them to be able to dig up something if it's something out there. And if they find out, I can just imagine what these commercials getting ready to be like, because they did Donald Trump. Well, they did the whole thing with Donald Trump, the little privately endorsed commercials. If they find something on that man and it's like that, not only is he going to jeopardize this, but it's going to now be out in the forefront. He might as well retire, because it's going to really, really stain his is really going to stain his record for real. I mean, it's one thing telling somebody it's all right to grab you, go ahead and grab her by the crotch. And then it's an entirely different thing to pin somebody up against the wall and have a little finger play. So especially coming from a potential world leader. Now, I hadn't heard anything about this, even in the past. So man, that'd be interesting. I hope it don't. And if it is, and he was dead wrong, then that's just dead wrong. Because I'm sure it's going to get out if that's the case.
Larry, drop it on us.
I'm calling complete and utter BS on this. Complete and utter BS. And I'll tell you why. Because if this happened back in 93, you said Biden he's run for office, as in the Senate a couple of times since then. Mm-hmm. And he was completely vetted when he was going to run when he was going on the ticket with Obama. So you're talking about Barack Obama, who was our first black president. That whoever they were putting on that ticket with him, mm-hmm. they were vetting that person to a degree that no one has probably been vetted before, because they were probably like, look, we already have the whole thing that we have to overcome him being a black man. The last thing we want is to have his running mate come up with something that's going to kill his chances. So they vetted the holy crap out of Biden. Mm-hmm. And anything that anybody can make a claim. I'm not going to say this woman didn't make this claim, because anybody can claim anything. I can say that Halle Berry, sexually touched me and I'm feeling violated now. And now I can't enjoy watching her movies because every time I see her, I think about the time that she's touched me inappropriately. I can make the claim. It would be a complete lie.
Hey, where does she touch you? Oh, never mind. Oh, okay. That's a lie. Never mind. I was about to ask some questions about that. I want to know. I have a curious mind. I want to know.
But my point is that if through all these years, all the elections all the campaigns that he's been in and run and won, you're talking about since 93. He ran for office with Barack in 2000 and what was it, 2004? Wait, 8?
Yeah.
So from 93 to 8, that's what, 15 years? Mm-hmm. You're talking about at least 3 Senate terms right there, or 2 Senate terms, at least. And depending on where he was in his Senate term when she made those allegations, it could have been 3 Senate runs, right. And then 2 presidential or vice presidential runs. No, I don't believe it. She may have made the claim, but I'm sure that it was investigated and it came out that it was just, there was nothing valid about it. There was just no validity to the claim, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out this woman, became like a Republican operative of some sort. It could have been something that maybe she worked for Biden or whatever, and she got, maybe she got let go for whatever reason. Maybe she did something inappropriate or she was incompetent. She got let go. She was mad and she made this allegation. Stuff like that happens. And
she was his Senate aide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure why I don't know if she left because of that incident or she was about to get let go. I don't know what the deal is with it, I mean, people get fired and then they start making all kinds of claims, or people know they're going to get fired, so they start making all kinds of claims about stuff because they know they're about to lose their job, and they're either trying to protect their job or they're trying to protect their source of income. So even if they get let go, hopefully they're thinking maybe I'll get some severance or I'll be able to get some, a big settlement or something. I'm just not buying it after all those times he had to be vetted. Mm-hmm. And nothing came up. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
I'm going to agree with you, Larry. It sounds fishy to me. However, here's the problem. When it comes to Trump versus Biden, we've seen how rabidly Trump's people support him. We know people in the Democratic Party, I'm not trying to say they got the most morals, but they tend to sometimes go out on their morals. Y'all remember Michelle Obama saying when they go low, we go high and all that bullshit? Republicans don't do that. Republicans will go to hell with their candidate to win, and Democrats won't. All I'm saying to say all that is this. Joe Biden does not inspire people as much as Trump inspires and motivates hate, incinerates hate. Any extra thing that Biden has got to go through, I fear, is just another peg that's going to take him down.
This is another reason for him to do like you were talking about before and picking Michelle Obama as a running mate.
That's the only way, ladies and gentlemen. And they put out a list over the weekend of the top 10 women he might get. Michelle wasn't on the list, which is to his detriment. Stacey Abrams was number 9. They got some chick in Florida who is the first openly gay representative or whatever. They had her on the list. They had Klobuchar, which would be a nightmare. They had Klobuchar on the list. They had who was the chick running for president out in California? Black chick. I can't think of her name. Kamala Harris was on the list. She was like number 7, but Michelle Obama was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, she should be on the list. Honestly, I don't think that Klobuchar should. I don't want to see any senator. I don't want to see any sitting senator on that list. Period. I don't care how great of a VP candidate they would make. And for one, Kamala Harris, let's just take her off the list right now.
She's not going to make it.
She needs to be off the list because she's from California. She cannot deliver California because California is already delivered. California is already going to the Democrats. There's no need for her. And if you did pick her and you win, now you have an open Senate seat in a state like California. You have to go and try and hopefully win that seat back by another Democrat. Same thing with Amy Klobuchar. If you pick her and she wins, well, Amy Klobuchar's from what, like Minnesota someplace. She's from a state where it's not a guarantee that you're going to get that seat back. That seat could very well and very could likely go to a Republican. So I wouldn't pick her either. Honestly, if I was going to pick anybody, I would want to go with Michelle Obama first. If he doesn't go with her, I would go with the governor of Michigan, because Michigan is a battleground state. You have a female candidate that's a Democrat. She's a governor, so she doesn't have a senatorial voting record that people can pick apart. I would pick her. If
I got to put somebody, she was on the list. She was actually number 2, Larry, on that list.
Yeah.
Number 2. I probably would make her number 2. But in terms of, is this going to go anywhere? I don't think it'll go anywhere. And Republicans being the biggest hypocrites in America, y'all seen everything Trump has not only been accused of, but surefire evidence he probably engaged in. Have the people turned on him? Nope. They go by the chaos theory with him. Trump and his team creates more and more chaos so that you forget chaos that was created 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Right.
Biden has got to beg Michelle Obama to come and serve her country. That is, folks, BNT Streams is telling y'all right now, if it ain't Michelle Obama, we ain't winning.
I'm not going to say that because I think that governor from Michigan could really help him as well.
I kind of like her too. I ain't gonna front.
I think she could do it.
I kind of like her too. She's kind of like my backup to Michelle Obama. But whoever he's get, ladies and gentlemen, is going to have to be somebody from that Midwest area that can relate. And I'm with Larry. It shouldn't be Klobuchar. Probably that chick from Michigan is going to be the best bet. And we've got some more COVID-19 news to kind of y'all don't want to hear. This weekend, a Trump supporter who has a big following started the hashtag Fire Fauci. Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, guess who decided to retweet that? Your president. So let me give you the backstory, then I'll let T-Stream go in. The backstory on this is Fauci was on CNN yesterday talking about how he wanted the social distancing to be put in place early February, and the Trump administration said hell to the no. Shortly after that, we get a Twitter storm from Trump saying all kinds of rabbit baloney on Easter Sunday, and someone tweeted that we should fire Dr. Fauci, and Trump retweeted it, liked it. One of the reasons why Trump behaves like this is because he wants to be the man in every room. When it comes to anything dealing with education beyond 5th grade, Trump is never going to be the smartest in the room.
Right.
And now that America has voted Fauci the pulse of the country during this coronavirus pandemic, people believe in him, they trust him, they want to hear from him, and they don't want to hear from Trump. It's made Trump ego hurt a little bit.
Right.
These streams, should a president be retweeting, firing the man that's helping him get his country right?
Well, Trump is a bum. He's a bum anyway. So, broads do broad things, man. And so that's just what he proven himself to be. I mean, when you really think about it, what president really actually had time? And most people, public figures have staffers that control their Twitter. I'm almost probably 100% sure that Trump probably do his own tweeting.
Oh, yeah.
Can't nobody pull the type of garbage, that he pulls and put up out there. But he's like, dude is in a category of his own. With all this stuff going on, he shouldn't have time to be trigger fingering on Twitter and hashtagging and all this other kind of stuff. It's too much on his plate to be bothered with, to be fooling around with some of this other mundane stuff. Now, it shows you how much of a buffoon he is, because he has certified medical staff, that has come in and, even despite all his rants, got him to make some changes that at least started getting things in the right direction. And you still want to try to nail the man to the cross. I'm solely convinced, and I've been like this for a long time, that Donald Trump really is just an idiot who lucked up and got into the White House because of his social status and the charisma that he has with some of these crazy rednecks. All right. Had it not been for that, there's no way in the world that he should have made it. And the whole idea of him trying to go against the grain with this guy here is straight foolish. Now, if this man do lose his job and go someplace else, who else is he gonna call? Who is he gonna call? Apparently, this guy tends to be one of the leading authorities on infectious diseases. Why would you not want somebody like that in your corner? Because you cannot, you don't have the brains, the wits, nor the capacity to deal with anything on that magnitude. Nothing that's dealing with medical health, because that's not what you do. You build buildings. Public health and safety is not in your knowledge base. So you have to surround yourself with people that that's adept in those areas. But that was really some broad stuff he did. If he up there retweeting, fire, that's y'all president, man. That's
Larry, before you go, let me update you on something.
Okay.
I'll update both of you guys. Did y'all see the people he picked to be the czars to reopening America? Oh my God. I mean, y'all ain't seen what'd you say?
Did that just come out today?
Yes, man. Y'all ain't seen this many squares since a high school reunion. The bitch picked Steve Mnuchin, Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Wilbur Ross, some Huizenga dude that I don't know, and one other Larry Kudlow and another far right wing conservative hack to be the committee to reopening America. I just thought I'd let y'all know that. Larry, what you think about Trump trying to insinuate that he wants Fauci fired?
Well, I mean, I think this is just another indication of how weak Trump is. I mean, you have all these talk show hosts and TV pundits out there that are talking about reopening up the country prematurely. Rush Limbaugh's out there talking about, we need to reopen up the country now. You have that other chick, Lauren. Yeah, she's talking about opening up the country. And these people have absolutely no medical or scientific training at all. They're just simply wanting to try and get people back to work so they can make more money and get the economy flowing. And only doing what Republicans seem to often do, which is only think about short-term gains and not about the long-term consequences. And so you open up the country back up, and the next thing you know, in a month or two, or however long, you have another big spike in various parts of the country, and now you have to shut things down again, except you have to shut them down for much longer. You have more people dying. You have our hospitals overwhelmed. And the thing is that you do all of this, and with the timing of it, if you open up early, by the time you start to have more of these spikes and all this stuff, it could happen right in the midst of the heated part of our presidential campaign, and Trump will be dead in the water. Trump really should be listening to political advisors who are telling him, we need to time this right so that when you do open it up, even if something does happen, it happens after the election, because if you don't, and we end up going into the election with a big, what a big pandemic outbreak again, you are dead in the water. But the other part is listening to Trump today during his press conference. He's up there with just displaying how little he knows about the way our country works and our system of governance, his own party policies or practices and platforms. And part of that is he keeps saying, I'm the president. I decide when the country opens back up. I'm the president. I decide when the country opens back up. He doesn't decide that. The governors are going to decide that. Some people have said, well, the mayors too, but the mayors to a limited degree. But even if the mayors say, yeah, you can open up Mobile, Alabama, or you can open up, Miami Beach, Florida. If the governors simply say no, whatever the mayor said doesn't really matter. You still have to leave it closed. And so Trump can sit up there and say, oh, I want to tell the country to open back up. It does not matter what he says. If the governors simply say, no, we're leaving things shut down, we're leaving these stay-at-home orders in place for another 30 days or 60 days, the only thing that Trump can do is he can institute some sort of war act, some war powers act to try and force everybody to do everything. But I don't think he really wants to do that because there's far-reaching consequences to doing something like that. And if you start saying, I'm going to force you to do this, you go against your own party's platform where they are all about states' rights. If the states are saying no, and now the federal government is stepping in, I mean, all these far-right conservatives, again, they don't have a leg to stand on. They can no longer sit there and try and say we are about states' rights when they will have just clear as day violated their core principles about not having the federal government interfere with states' business. And if states like California and Texas decide they just simply want to say, no, we're not going to, even if the federal government says open up and they just simply say, no, we're not going to do it. I mean, California is the 5th largest economy in the world. They could just simply say no. The only other power the federal government has is to simply say, well, we're going to cut off your funding so you won't get any more federal money. California can simply say, we don't care. We send more money out to the federal government than we get in. So we don't care if you cut us off, because you're not giving us anything anyway. And Texas is in a similar situation. So you can have big states that just simply say, you know what, we're not going to do that. And by the way, we're going to help some of the other smaller states around us to support them to do the same thing. And it doesn't take but a few states to do that before you really start having the president and the federal government looking really, really weak, and you force them to just sort of say, back off. And hopefully all this happens behind closed doors so we don't have to see it. But you really then start to force the federal government to say, all right, we're going to listen to the governors, and we're going to go ahead and let the governors, do what they're going to do. And the president will just have to shut up. Because, I mean, when you really look at it, they already talked about, they had a group of 16 governors that got together the other day to determine how they were going to handle the reopening back up of their states. Mm-hmm. They didn't. I mean, it was a group of governors. It wasn't like they all came to the White House. The governors got together. So, I mean, I think Trump for one is forgetting that his party is about states' rights. And if you start talking about violating states' rights, you're going to find out how much little power you actually have, unless you are really willing to go all out and say, I'm declaring war powers nationally, I mean, but if you do that, then you're talking about you're gonna have to mobilize all the National Guard on all kinds of levels. They're gonna start talking about martial law. You're really gonna piss your party off then, because all that stuff that people worry about the federal government doing, all those right-wing people that they worry about the federal government doing, the federal government's actually gonna have to do all those things, and it's gonna happen here on our own land. It's not gonna be we're sending troops somewhere else. They're gonna be sending troops onto our streets. So.
But
very long rant, sorry, but
you say all that, but I feel like Trump has been one of the most untouchable scumbags we've ever seen, just simply because his own party refuses to check him. He's done completely wrong things. We all know that normally Republicans typically hate Russia. Typically. Normal circumstances, they scream Red Sonja and all that shit about Russia. And now this guy get in office and they're chumming up to Putin. They're letting Trump say nice things about Putin. And, for me, they're only doing that because either A, they know Putin is helping them win, or either B, they're scared of Trump. It's hard for me to see someone being afraid of Trump. I mean, it's hard for me to see that. I can see them being afraid of Putin. And if they know that Putin has things to help elections and he loves Trump, that's his butt brother, then I can see them being afraid of that. But being afraid of Trump, I don't see that. And Trump has led the party off the cliff, and they followed him off the cliff. But the issue here is the people that support those clowns continue to support them. I'm not seeing a groundswell of people who are upset enough at what the Republican Party has done jumping the ship. I hear this bullshit about, well, I'm not going to vote because Trump's bad, Biden's bad. I'm not going to vote. And I'm looking at these people like, huh? What?
I hear you, but here's the thing. I think as far as with the Republican Party, the Republican leadership allows Trump to keep doing his thing because Trump has been giving them exactly what they want. They have been getting conservative justices on the Supreme Court. They've been getting conservative judges on the bench all over the country. He is a proponent of their conservative agenda. He's flipped the script on abortion and other things. So they're getting what they want out of Trump policy-wise, and so they're okay with allowing Trump to be the idiot that he is and do his thing. Now the rank and file, all the people out there voting for him. Yes, normally you would think that Americans would be against Russia. And from what I've heard, the Republican leadership still is very much against Russia and Putin and the government there. But the American people are okay with Russia and Putin because Russia is everything that these racist right-wing conservatives want in America. Russia is a white ethno state. They're basically a homophobic, anti-gay state, and they're a misogynist nation that allows their wives, the wives and daughters, to be beaten without any consequence. There are laws on the books that say that you can beat your wife in Russia, and there's nothing really that you can do. Homosexuality is a crime. They have documentaries talking about how they have these groups of Russians going out there and beating and killing gay people. I mean,
let me shout out Mike Willie. He just super at it, and him and Muchella have told me to tell you guys, if you haven't already done so, turn on your alerts for my channel. I've been trying to figure out why my videos haven't been getting the watches and all that, and it turns out that because I was off for a month, it turned off all my alerts. So everybody, turn on your alerts. Shout out to my homeboy Mike Willie. I do take super chats, and when you super chat, we bring you on the show. Sorry about that, Larry, but continue.
That's it. That's just my thing. I want to say is that that Trump is giving the Republican leadership what they want with their conservative justices and judges and their policy, and the voters, the rank and file, they're okay with Russia because they're okay with they that's how they think. They want a racist, a white racist, homophobic, misogynistic nation, just like Russia is. So they look at Russia as maybe not their political, maybe not their political structure, but their social structure. They're looking at that as a model for the U.S. And so they're okay with Russia like that.
T-Strings, finish it off for us, then we'll move on to the last subject.
You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, a few years from now, watch what's gonna happen, man. Is this whole Russia deal is gonna come back and bite Trump in the butt. Something is going to surface. Something is going to surface that's going to have him caught up in some mess with them. Now he liked to play it off or whatever, and it to me is all stupid. I mean, how stupid can you really be anyway to get involved with some of that stuff, especially if you find out that they're tampering with ballots or however the hell they did it. I don't know how they did it. I know the speculation is there, but there has been no president that's really been in the bed with the Russians. Hell, even damn Ronald Reagan. He had to go over there and debo Mikhail Gorbachev back in the day.
Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Yeah, so he sort of comes in. I guess he's trying to be a trendsetter to create something that's not there, but it's not going to work, man. I think he should really have let the Russians stay in the place that they have been on the side. You open them up like you opening things up, and now they tend to think that there's some type of possibility to be a ally or something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So excuse me, I had to answer my phone real quick. Yeah, so
I don't think they want to be an ally. I think they want to try and reemerge as another global superpower.
That's all they want. That's all they want. And the sad thing is, Trump supporters are not intelligent enough to understand how they're swarming up to Trump, but undermining the world markets to undermine the United States all at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, and it's going to be at our expense too.
Of course it is. Of course,
be at our expense. So I have some some friends and stuff that's Republicans, and some of them are pretty bright. I just don't understand, how they managed to follow this particular leadership. But man, if this thing don't change, man, we in the world of trouble. We're in the world of trouble.
Yeah.
And the consequences go far beyond anything that Russia could possibly have anything to do with it. The ramifications of this can go on for years.
So
it makes it really, really clear how important this election is. I mean, this is very, very pivotal.
Right. I would say this to wrap it up. For this election, one thing that is super crucial that we will all have to continue to deal with outside of Russia is these damn Supreme Court judges and these Superior Court judges that Trump has put more people in seats than all his three presidents before him. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the most scary thing that we have got to resolve by getting someone else in that office. I
hope they get a hermetically sealed bubble around, RGB's house and leave that bubble around her house sealed up until all this coronavirus stuff is done, until after the presidential election is over.
Yeah, man. God bless that woman. Now, folks, we end on movie news, movie talk, TV show talk. Larry sent me a link today. The new Batman movie that's coming out next year, it's supposed to come out June 2021. It's got a brand new Batman, and the story is supposed to take place around Batman's second year as being a crime fighter. It had been talked about introducing a Robin into the story, and we got a little bit of confirmation that we're going to have a Robin. And the Robin that they're thinking about introducing is this cat named Timothy Chalamet, whatever.
Chalamet, I think it is.
Chalamet. He played in Homeland 2 years. Then he did some feature films, drama, men's and women's children, and subsequently appeared in Christopher Nolan's science film Interstellar. I'll give this one to Larry because he found the story. Are you excited to see we're going to get this young man to be be Robin, excuse me.
Yeah, it sounds to me like from the article that I was reading, it sounds to me like they may dip him in there right at the end. Like they may introduce his character right at the end. So we may not actually see him as Robin, but we might actually see his introduction to Batman right at the end, or Bruce Wayne, I guess, right at the end. And then the next movie in that, in the new part of this new series, I guess, will be where we'll see him as Robin. And I'm okay with that. I think it's important when you bring in a new Batman to establish him as his own character. To let the new guy be the Batman as a solo thing in a solo movie without having too much of a supporting role, too much of a supporting staff around him. So, but I like the Robin character in the whole Batman franchise. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I like this dude. I think he's a decent actor. I think he would make a pretty good Batman. So yeah, it could be fun. We'll see what happens with it. I hope that they do a good job with with Robin, because I think people forget that Robin in a lot of ways was like, I don't know if you guys remember Scrappy Doo from Scooby-Doo and Scrappy Doo, where he was always ready to go and fight. He was gung-ho, and Batman was kind of holding him back a bit, So it's the same way how Scooby-Doo was holding back Scrappy Doo. He was always really gung-ho, and I hope they have his character like that, and really let him get his scrap on.
Yep, teach dreams.
Man, you know what? I'm really not a big fan of the guy that they have in playing Batman this go around.
You mean you want to see a vampire Batman?
No, I mean, maybe I'm sort of shell shocked from from that. But
T Springs is gonna be Twilight. It's gonna be the Dark Knight Twilight.
yeah, when I don't know if those were official pictures that I saw, but when I saw him in the Batman suit in his face, and I'm just,
it looked horrible. And his name is Robert Pattinson, and it looked horrible. He looked like a vampire.
yeah, and I'm like, man, what is they doing? And but you know, he may be badass. I don't
Yeah,
it might be.
But you know, when I'm like, I'm not gonna be one of the type that's gonna probably be rushing out to go see it. But you know, if they're gonna include Robin, I hope whoever they decide to go with can help accentuate that lead, because that's really what got me. And I'm normally a Batman fan, you know, like I'm digging, you know, but I'm not feeling dude on as a Batman when I can't get in my head seeing him as Bruce Wayne, you know what I'm saying? And maybe, you know, it's like some actors, they get like iconic roles and they're branded in those roles, and it's hard to see them, you know, in other things, or you can see them in other things, but then when you see them in certain things, it's just not right. And so I can't even recall if I've seen him anything since what was the vampire movie name? Was it
Twilight?
Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight. So yeah, I don't know if I've seen him in anything other than that. If I have, I don't remember. And so that's another pitfall. When you think of something like Batman, you want somebody that can handle the Cape Crusader, you know, somebody that can handle that role. And unless you know, I don't know. I hope that it does it some justice.
Mm-hmm.
Because Marvel is still going to be kicking ass in the theater, and if he does not help the brand, then that was just a bogus decision or a bogus move on DC Warner Brothers.
Well, I'll tell you, and I'm not sure why they picked Robert Pattinson, but I'll tell you, if they were going to pick someone from that Twilight series to be Batman, the person they should have picked, I think, should have been Taylor Lautner.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he already is sort of like an action star. I mean, I can't remember the name of that movie he did, but he played sort of an action star, a young sort of action star dude, and he was good. He was good,
but he was fine.
Who was that?
The movie was terrible, but
he was good.
Yeah, he was good in his movie.
Right.
It was not Maze. I forgot the name, but it had a wall and all this stuff. It was good. He did fine, but the movie
Abduction. He did Abduction. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, hey, look, man.
So that was the other guy in the vampire movie, though, right?
Yeah. Both of them were in there. Both of them. Taylor Lautner played the werewolf, and the other dude played a vampire.
Yeah.
If I was telling someone to put a Robin in the movie, me personally, I would have went right to the Titans, the TV show, and got the guy that's playing Nightwing. That brother plays a hellified Nightwing, and I could easily see him being a badass Robin on the big screen. However, to let y'all know what has been the best thing I have seen on TV this whole year, and y'all gonna laugh.
Okay.
That Mortal Kombat Legendary Scorpion's Revenge. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Lord,
I saw something online you were talking about that. I was like, I'm going to have to add that to my list.
When I tell you, that thing go hard. I was sitting up in the bed on my fingernails the whole time. My wife was like, can you get off your hands? I couldn't. To the end. And when I say I was sitting on my fingernails, I was butt naked sitting on my fingernails, not eating nothing.
Oh, I didn't need that visual, man. I did not need that visual.
Hey man, it ain't but so many shows that make you get butt naked because they so fire. This show is fire. When I tell you the nostalgia you have from the video game in the 90s,
Oh, these stranger bands going off.
man, look, bro, they brought it. Everything that game made you feel when you first played it, this movie has embodied it. And they do it with a great storyline on top of it. And then on the backdrop, they brought in most of the old characters, some of the new characters, and they had a tournament to go along with the main story. You seen bones breaking, you seen teeth coming out, you seen necks coming off, you seen guts spilling over. You heard "get over here." You heard "finish him." You seen somebody finish him. My recommendation for everybody watching this live stream.
You saw kids getting choked out and
oh, you seen it? Yeah, man. Sub-Zero didn't play no games, bro. Sub-Zero ain't played no games in this movie.
Did he freeze dudes and hit them and watch them shatter into pieces?
Yes.
Oh.
You know what?
Larry, he also done it to children.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna watch this. I have to see it.
I'm gonna tell you, it's like when you think of watching like a cartoon, it's not your first of all, it's not your average cartoon, even though you got who was that Daffy Duck that's on the front of it on the outside that's sort of getting it started. Then you see Scorpion jump through the WB signal and snatch Daffy Duck by the throat, like, get over here.
Yeah, man. You know it's about to be going down. Yeah.
It's like it's blood and gore from the beginning to the end.
To the end.
And it's like it really, it truly adopts the video game platform. So if you into the blood and guts and the battles and then it has like the X-rays and stuff like that. If you into the game X-rays, that's pretty dope. If you hadn't seen it, yeah, go ahead, Lamont. You can finish. You was getting ready to introduce it to it, but if you hadn't seen it,
I'm gonna have to watch that.
You gotta watch it, bro.
Where's it? What's it on?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. All right, let me go ahead and make sure I add that to my list.
Of course, you can see it in other places, but officially Amazon Prime.
Officially Amazon Prime. Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna keep it official. My channel's all official now, so I'm gonna keep it official.
To wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, that's my pick for you guys to watch right now. And be sure to turn on my notification because I might do a full review and not my mini review that I did today. T-Strings, give us something you watching. Oh, by the way, T-Strings, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have to read and translate Money Heist on every episode?
No.
Oh. So they do have it in English.
It is in English. It is in English. If you watch it now here's the thing, okay? If you watch it on Netflix, it is in English.
Oh.
If you watch it and like, I don't even know if Cinema or any of them will even pull the links. But if you do you'll probably have to watch the subtitles. And of course, I got the hookup. So and so
you can't do nothing with an educated brother.
So it is initially a Spanish show,
right?
And so matter of fact, Liam Neeson is actually one of the American voiceovers, which is pretty cool because he has that kind of voice, one of those voices that like James Earl Jones, you sort of listen to it a little bit. But
Mhm.
All right.
All right. So, Larry, what's your recommendation for people to watch?
Well, there's two things that I'm going to say. One is I want to back up a little bit to the whole Batman thing for a second, because we were talking about Batmans. Now stick with me here. This guy, I think for him to be Batman, he would probably have to work out and put on maybe about 20 pounds of muscle. But I think James Franco would make an excellent Batman. I think he would be an absolutely incredible Batman, but I think he would have to gain some weight because he's usually fit, but he's also usually pretty thin. So I think if he packed on some muscle, he could be a good Batman. But my pick for the week is it's an animated movie. I believe it's on Amazon Prime, and it's called Bilal. It's was it BIAL or something like that? Bilal. Anyways, it's a great show. I can't remember the guy's name, but it is about the first guy it's about sort of the rise of Islam in the Middle East, and it's about the first guy who used to go out and do the call to prayer. And so it's about how he came up as a slave and he was freed and became this warrior and fought to liberate, these people. And they were people that were coming over from, I forgot whatever totems and whatever gods these other people were worshiping, but they were escaping from there and coming over to this other place where I guess it was like a new city or community where everybody was free, but all these people were Muslim. And so, anyways, it's a fantastic show. It is absolutely amazing. I wasn't sure what to expect. I just saw it, thought, this looks kind of cool. The graphics, the animation looks nice. So I put it on, and I was captivated from the moment that movie got on until it went off. It's really, really incredible. So, anyways, it's called Bilal. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, T-Streams, anything you got for the people?
Okay, man. Outside, I just started on that For Life, so it's getting a nice little kickstart. But if you hadn't checked out the Clark sisters movie, it's actually on a Lifetime movie. Probably want to go ahead and check that out. That's a good. It's not a series. It's something you can throw in between your shows or something like that. But I'm starting on that. I've started on that For Life, and I'm feeling it. And so I'm only the first episode in, so I'm gonna go ahead and check that all the way out and see what it's talking about.
Well, no doubt, fellas. Can y'all do this again Wednesday night?
Wednesday it is.
We'll be back.
Let's do it.
Tomorrow night I've got to catch up, and I got to watch For Life, and I'll review it. So I got to keep my mind right and be on time and watch that and get the review out for everybody. Mm-hmm. We want to send special shout out to everybody that is faithfully coming and watching us talk this talk. I've noticed that our live stream has started to grow. We're averaging 40 people now, where when we first got up here the first week, it was like 15. And this past Friday, we made it all the way up to 70. So maybe Larry and T-Streams helping me get my mojo back. And I showed you mojo for that baby get here.
Yeah.
You can never have enough of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for coming and tuning in to us. Be sure to turn on my notifications. Turn on Larry notifications. Go check out T-Streams on his Facebook group at T-Streams. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, we'll see you guys.
One last thing. Can I get one last word in?
Go ahead.
One last thing, and this is sort of serious. There has been record numbers of domestic violence happening right now in the country because people are locked in the house together. So please, people, be kind to each other. Be kind to your loved ones. Remember why you fell in love in the first place, and be kind to each other. And that's all I want to say.
Yeah. Don't use your fist. Use that thing you got between your legs, fellas. Beat them with that, not your fist. And until that next Sexy as Hell, yeah, we'll see you.